All right, welcome back to Off the Clock. Today we have Vukani. Editor, cue the clapping music for Vukani right now. Vukani, thank you for being here with us. I know it's been hectic trying to get you just to sit in that red chair over there. It's like we're fighting the forces of the world just to get you here, but we have you here. It's a good day, it's a Friday, and thank you for being on Off the Clock.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
Welcome. Maybe just to kick you off with a couple of questions, and we'll be interchangeably, going for it.
Sure.
I mean, what do you do to relax? I mean, with your family. You mentioned that you've got 3 girls, your wife, your nephews, your nieces. What do you really do to relax off the clock?
Being at home with the girls is a lot more relaxing than being up and about. They definitely don't think so.
Boring.
Yeah, boring.
Yeah.
They'd rather be up and about. I said, 3 girls. The eldest is a matric, so very different lifestyle. She's in her room most of the time, behind closed doors,
Doing the work.
or just not wanting to be with the people. But the little ones are 13 and 11, so they like the lifestyle outside. So just on the public holiday, it was my daughter's birthday, the little one.
Yeah.
So we took off to roll a goalie, and they were roller skating the whole day. So those are the type of things that we typically do, just spend as much time as possible with my wife and kids, especially during the breaks that we get. I mean, the reality is we don't get much time to do this. So as soon as we have the opportunity to do so. And I also try and do time with my wife, just alone time with my wife. We have a date night every Thursday.
So what do you do on date nights? I mean,
Date
go
nights
to a
is-
nightclub. What do you do?
No, usually it's restaurants. Nightclubs. Actually, we did a nightclub recently.
Recently.
Yeah, recently we went to Rockets.
Oh, wow.
I must
Okay.
tell you, it's a very different scene for me lately. But comparing to what it used to be when I was younger.
What the age group?
Yeah, the age group is. I see kids as young as my children, so I think no, maybe this is not the space.
Well, you don't belong here.
Yeah.
There. But we usually try to time out to a restaurant, or maybe just even a night out for the 2 of us.
Okay.
Close by, in a fancy place, just kind of find something fun, something nice, a different environment, away from the house, away from the kids. It's always good just to have a bit of connection.
But I mean, do you do the same with your girls? I mean, you just mentioned that you spend time with all 3 of them. Do you maybe spend time with them individually so you can bond them with James love?
So we have it's actually a relatively new thing. We call it dad and daughter trips.
Okay.
So just me alone, nobody else, with one of the girls.
Okay.
I took the eldest one to Cape Town. It was opportune because she wants to go study in Cape Town, so I could show her the universities around the Cape.
Just exploring. Yeah.
Just exploring. But then we do a bit of fun things together. Now it's
Like fun things like what, ice cream?
in the last trip that we did, we spent some time on the boat. Did a cruise. She enjoys going out, but I don't go to clubs with her. But dinners and just having a little bit of a quality time. We went and did the quad biking.
Quad biking, yeah.
Yes, and had
Okay.
fun there, and she loved the experience. So it's actually interesting. Then I did something which you know this from what it was called future casting. Have you done it?
I've heard about it. I haven't been
You haven't done
involved
it.
with it.
It's fun. It's kind of imagining you are 10 years from today. So think of 10 years in the future
Wow.
and tell a story of what your life looks like then.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did that with my daughter. And we did a 5-year. We did a 5-year. We did extend it to 10 years. So we said it's 2023. Imagine it was 2028. How does your life look like? And we're sitting at a restaurant in Cape Town. It was just a really an amazing time to see her think and reason about what she told me. She has graduated with an honors degree. She's found a boyfriend. She's doing this. She's doing that. It was just wonderful. Just
Change the hairstyle.
She's looking different. She's doing this. She's spending more time working and all. So it was kind of a very interesting dynamic. But it's fun to also just explore a little bit what's going on in your child's head. Because as they grow up, they have their own dreams. Sometimes not great dreams, but they're dreams anyway. Some of them you want to nurture, some of them you want to avert, or just help them to think about how to create a different life for themselves. We have an upcoming one for my middle one. She turns 13 end of October, so we're doing Sun City. She says she does not want to go far and she loves to be in Sun City. It's warm and she's going to be swimming, blah, blah. So I'm trying to do at least one trip per child per year.
Wow. That's special.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very special.
All right. So how do you, outside of your family, what do you do for you? Like, what do you do for your own enjoyments? If you have any hobbies, what are your hobbies? What do you do for fun that you constitute as fun?
I love the outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
So I spend quite a bit of time on the road running. And this plays two things for me, just being out of the house. Saturday morning, do a 20-kilometer run, 15-kilometer run. It's wonderful because you get to, first of all, smell the trees and the fresh wind of Joburg.
Yeah.
Or Cape Town, or wherever you are. I was in London last week and I had a fantastic time just running along Thames River. It's like really amazing experience. But the most important reason I do this is just to process things in my head.
Yeah.
Deal with issues, clarify stuff in my head or plan. It's amazing what you get through as you run. So physical activity is a lot of what I do for myself. I box.
Box.
Yes, I'm actually going to box this evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this just the stress relief thing or is it recreational?
No, you won't see me inside the box. But it's definitely just another activity that's good for me because, you can release some energy by boxing and
That's how you end the punching bag.
No, I actually punch a guy.
You have a guy to punch.
And I cycle. I've joined the club, so once per week, once only, I get onto a bicycle and I'll do a 30-40-kilometer ride with the boys, and it's just a fantastic time out with the gents, And afterwards, we sit and just talk nothing, under the trees or in a restaurant somewhere. It's just like lots of fun. So a lot of what I do for myself to de-stress and to just, it involves mostly physical activity.
Okay. Outdoor
And physical.
All right, let's take it forward. Are you a cook? Do you love food? What kind of food do you love eating?
I wouldn't say I'm a cook. If I am, I'm a bad cook.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah. But once in a while, I would cook. But my cooking would involve buying some interesting pre-cooked or half-cooked stuff from Woolies. I just finish it off. Consolidate it and
Put it together and present it as your own.
present it as my own.
Yeah.
But so I don't really do much cooking. But I actually enjoy eating out more than cooking.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'd find me end up out in restaurants, and I try to look for interesting spaces, something that's unfamiliar or a bit rare. Try new things, new restaurants. I've been trying fine dining lately, but I decided I don't like it much.
What, Michelin star restaurants?
Michelin star restaurants, maybe below Michelin stars, but just nice. I did the tasting menus. I love doing tasting menus. Recently, did one in Cape Town just recently. So it's with that kind of thing. But my wife and I actually decided we're not going to do proper fine dining. Number one, it takes too long for the food to come to come.
Cost one,
And
two.
it does come with sauce. When it comes, this little piece.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine said, after doing all this food, I just want to go to KFC and buy me a nice burger.
That's the problem with fine dining. You always leave hungry. Yeah.
Actually, to be honest, I love it. I don't like to eat too much.
Yeah.
So it's all right to, as long as the experience is not so slow. I
Yeah.
think the problem is when the experience is too slow, then it's a bit boring,
That's different to me. I like fine dining.
You're a fine dining guy.
I
He
tried
is the guy.
He's the guy.
I tried. I spent some time in the.
Don't you want to buy a burger afterwards?
No, no. I've gone to the length of spending some time in a restaurant venue and seeing how.
Oh, wow.
One time I took a week's leave and spent time in the old restaurant, the Browns, was still in
Yes.
California.
Yes, I remember.
So very close to my office.
Okay.
Spend a week with the chef and the guys, seeing how to do the dessert, those small bread from scratch and do the stuff.
Amazing.
I like taking my time to eat, like maybe sometimes pairing the food with the wines, and, because I know them a little bit. So that experience for me is it's relaxing. But sometimes I drag them to fine dining places, and then I don't get a lot of compliments for that. Because it can be very painful for this. I mean, we went to a few times. There's a restaurant in the Western Forum. I mean, I like that.
That's actually
Don't undersell it. That's your favorite place.
That's your favorite.
Your favorite place.
I actually quite like it myself. It's nice. I've been there a few times.
but and there's no KFC around, so
So there's no running away to to get a burger.
No, do it afterwards.
Yeah.
As you drive home. Fine wine.
So while we're on the topic of food,
Yeah.
if you were in the situation of like, okay, maybe not fine dining, but dining where you will be properly full afterwards, if you could have dinner with anyone, dead, alive, a celebrity, anyone, who would you choose and why?
On the dead people, I definitely would like to explore Nelson Mandela.
Mandela.
Yes.
Yes.
I'd like to get into his head a little bit.
Yes.
On the living folks, I'll explore Barack.
Obama.
Yes.
Why Obama?
I just find him, firstly, he's a fascinating guy to have had the opportunity that he's had, leading one of the greatest nations on earth. And it's not by chance, I argue. Those type of opportunities don't come by chance. It's because somebody has something to offer. And when I listen to him, I get a lot of inspiration. The way he thinks, the way he articulates his proposition, the principles he holds. I really would like to. By the way, it's the same thinking as Nelson Mandela, because I think they're very much similar
Yeah.
in character, similar in thinking, similar in kind of how they view the world. And I think one can learn a lot from that sort of conversation.
So I mean, not to brag about it. I mean, I had a very rare opportunity to have lunch with Nelson Mandela at his house.
Wow.
And it happened.
When was that?
It happened to be
It's a
my
long
birthday.
Amazing.
I think it was in 2002. And he
Says-
signed an autographed book. It was a very rare moment, with him. So I used to work for Sanofi.
Yes.
It was run by a French CEO who Nelson Mandela invited a couple of CEOs to have lunch with them. I was almost smuggled into the meeting
Oh, wow.
because the French CEO, Jean-Pierre, said, Peter, being invited to lunch with Nelson Mandela, I don't know what will I tell him and this and that. I said to him, there's so much you can tell him. And then asked me to come along and join. That's how I ended up there. But
Wow.
long story short, there was, I think, 4 CEOs and there was me as well. And he, at the end of lunch, he asked them, and I still remember this very well. He said to them that, I'm going to ask you guys something very special. And nobody ever said no to me.
Okay.
And then he asked one to build a school, one to do some borehole water, and my friend CEO to say, you build a clinic.
Right.
And then we said to him, you know what? At the time, it was very impulsive and spontaneous, and said, I think we need to we'll build 3. And we went back to say, you know what? We're going to build 10.
Wow.
And also at a rare moment of meeting Bill Clinton
Yes. Go.
and Bush #2. So story for another time.
I thought you were gonna say you have a very special relationship with Obama and you might arrange me a meeting.
Yeah.
Just working on it.
That's very good.
Was funny because when Obama came to Africa actually, because he came here, and then it was almost impossible to connect. And that time I was still with another company leading the business on the continent. And I was able to connect with them in Tanzania.
Or in Tanzania.
Dar es Salaam.
Yes.
But only Michelle.
Only Michelle.
No Burke. I mean, those guys, where they traveled, I mean, they closed down the town.
No,
It was
no,
just,
I know.
impossible.
I mean, when they were here at Wanderers, remember?
Yeah. In 2018.
In 2018,
Yeah.
I also couldn't find the opportunity. But I mean, for me personally, that would be an amazing moment.
We're going to arrange that for you.
Fantastic.
Can I meet them too?
Yes.
Just bring you along.
Smuggle you in.
Smuggle you in, just like an old man.
No. All right. So, Vukani, you talked about how you're a very active person, right? You do the boxing, you run. I think you run as much as my mom, and that's saying something. My dad will tell you. So, I wanted to know, what's the most adventurous thing that you've done then, since you're very
Outdoor type person.
yes, or want to do? If you haven't done it, if you can tell us what you want to do.
No, actually, so Peter is in YPO, and I'm sure in your forum you do interesting things. But whenever we go away as a forum,
Retreats?
in retreats, we try to do something that we call it only in forum. Only in forum opportunities. So unfortunately, when I joined, man, they had already dived with sharks.
Shark cage diving.
Shark cage diving. They'd already jumped off airplanes.
Oh, wow.
So I said to them, we need a repeat of that. I actually want to do those 2.
Okay.
My wife says we should go and jump off bungee at the Tsitsikamma and that's not quite me. No, but definitely jumping off an airplane.
So skydiving, just not bungee jump.
Would be more interesting. And I actually I can't swim,
Okay.
but I'm definitely going to be doing.
So cage dive.
Actually, they claim that you actually don't need swimming lessons to dive, because remember, you have to wear.
Dress you up.
Well, not only do they dress you up, you also have oxygens, but you need to understand what it means. There is training for diving that you do.
Yeah.
It's different from swimming. It's totally different from swimming. So that's what interests me more.
All right.
So I mean, just
And by the way, you know why I want to do that?
Why?
There's two reasons. One is, when I was growing up, I always had this fear of heights,
Okay.
and a little bit of it still exists, but not as much. But I think if I were to jump off an aircraft and conquer it, just like
kill it off. Finish
kill it off.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to do that.
So you want to face your fears, basically.
The second one is that I don't know how to swim, and I think the worst thing you can do is to jump without 100 meters deep. But you cannot swim.
Cross
I think that's very daring, but I want to do those two.
Those two things.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not to just to add a little bit on that. I mean, I don't like guns, even water guns. You remember the water guns growing up? The retreat in Wapio that we did, which was like brought me very close to the guns, is one of the guys got a ammunition specialist, got the top 6 shotguns you can get in the world.
Wow.
Or check even 007's gun type. And then the top 6 machine gun, obviously the lowest was AK-47, but the sniper stuff, you can hit close to 1 kilometer, 800 meters
Wow.
on target.
Wow.
And did that in the valley in Cape Town. Was fun.
I hear that actually when you shoot, when you
have
put it
to-
up, you actually feel it.
Yeah, you have to put it on
On the
your shoulder. There's an angle that you have to, because also it's got an aiming laser light on it.
I'm also like you. I'm not a gun kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I've done a little bit of it. One of my colleagues actually likes, or owns a lot of guns. So he's taken it to one of the ranges here. And we've shot a few, but nothing to the extent that you just explained.
That's good.
So moving on, what is the one thing that, I mean, people don't know about you? I mean, just maybe to give you a clue, a lot of people don't know that I kind of, tried DJ at college, and I was making those parties rock. When I tell people, they're like, "There's no way, never, no way." So, what is that thing with you? Like, I mean, I even had a DJ name. They called me DJ Devon. Like, yeah.
I think a lot of people don't know that at some stage I tried my luck at singing.
Okay.
Well, first I started singing in a choir.
All right.
And I would do solos in a choir. And I thought, okay, maybe I could do this. So it didn't go very far. But safe to say that I think I could do something interesting. I've never really performed in front of an audience, if you want to ask, but well, not at least not a big audience, but I have
In the kitchen.
Or in the shower.
better than that. Slightly
So,
better than that.
so if we gave you a mic, not the mic you're wearing,
Yeah,
but a
bring one.
normal mic,
Bring one
can
and
we
sing me a
sing?
song.
What song
Actually-
would you sing?
No, R&B type stuff. When I was growing up, this was very famous. So it was one of those genres
Yeah.
that was really much in, everywhere when I was growing up. So I tried a few of those songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So The singing thing, wow. Okay. I'm pretty sure you
You're
were.
going to mention that, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were probably singing to your daughters when they were still babies. It was like,
After a while, then I think it kind of faded away, So
did you lose the confidence? What happened?
no, I think when you're growing up, there's lots of interesting things that you think, hey, I could do this. Like playing football. I at some stage thought I could be a football player.
What, an actual like professional, or
Yeah,
you just
I
like
mean,
wanted to try?
Like I was kind of good at it as I was growing up.
What was
So I loved. I've always been an Orlando Pirates fan. Sorry if you plays and chips.
No hard
And by the way, we are winning, which is not what we can say about other people. Okay. So, by the way, so I love playing football, and it was one of those, soccer is in the townships, in the rural communities, it was a fun sport, right? And I was good at it. So at some stage, I thought I could. Actually, I think if I had more opportunities growing up in more affluent places, I could have been somewhere.
So who's your favorite player? Who's your inspiration to play better? Because all players have that.
Back then.
Yeah.
Do you
Back
remember-
then, now, tell us.
Do you remember Hellman
calendar.
in Kalele?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
That's,
You wouldn't remember him. That's a long time.
So
ago.
far, yeah.
But that was my guy.
Played for Bafana.
He played for Bafana.
Yeah.
And now, who's your back?
Now I just, once again I slowed down. Now I'm not crazy about it anymore.
Even the Premier League?
Even Premier League. I've slowed down.
Okay.
I've slowed down totally.
So, Vukani, how do you, in a hot seat, not just here, but even at the office, your chair may be brown, but actually it's hot at the office. How do you deal with, stress? How do you manage that?
So, my view is that the most important thing is to create a bit of a balance in life. Now, that's easier said than done. Now, but what do I mean by balance? I think physically, you have to find time to create. You have to create time out of your crazy schedule, because everybody's got a crazy schedule, to look at yourself physically. So I explained to you earlier, I kind of make it a point that every week I do something. 2 to 3 days a week, maybe 3 to 4 days a week, depending on how crazy the week is, but I put time aside to do something, to feed the body, because there's a saying that you cannot pour from an empty cup. This is true. As a leader, if you are physically exhausted, and it's funny because the more you train, the more energy you get, I find, at least for myself.
Yeah.
So I do that. I spend a bit of time just looking after myself. The second point is about mental strength and mental wellness. And unfortunately, we, especially us Black people, really don't pay attention to this. And it's a serious issue that impacts us as leaders. We even scared of extending ourselves and saying if you are suffering, because everybody looks up to you to be the strong guy, but you don't have to be strong even if you're not feeling strong.
So the robot.
You're not the robot, you're a human being. So I believe in taking time to process things, seek help if you need it. I've seen therapists myself, just because I know, I mean, when you need help.
Yeah.
And you have to be honest with yourself that actually I need help now. I really think that number two is absolutely important. So what I do is I take time off. That's why I run, because running helps me clear my head a lot.
Run away from the problems.
But I spend a lot of time thinking through stuff, you know? And also acknowledging or being fair to myself if I think I need help. My wife is actually one of the people that helps me a lot, because she gets to see and know when things are not right. You know, your partner knows you the best. And she would say to me, something is not right, deal with it.
Okay.
And then number three, I think spiritual support as people, we need that. So that is why I talk about the balance. Feeding your soul, feeding your body, and feeding your mind.
Yeah. What about the sleep? I mean, do you sleep well? Some people say a man like you should be like a soldier, doing 6 hours a night. Some people say you need to do 8 hours to really come back strong. Do you sleep well? How many hours do you do?
I don't sleep well. Actually, I struggle with this. Sleep is one of the things that I have to do a lot to get.
Okay.
Sometimes I even medicate just to get a bit of extra sleep. I try to get around 8 hours of sleep. What actually happens to me is that I sleep relatively the right time, so 10-ish, I'm in bed. But I wake up in the middle of the night and then I can't sleep.
Oof.
Yeah. And I can't sleep until the morning, so early hours of the morning. Only then do I fall asleep, which means you are so groggy at 7 o'clock or at 6:30 when you have to step out of bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I try and find mechanism to slow down. So I use training as a mechanism to slow down after a crazy day. It helps me just to relax a little bit. My wife reckons I must meditate. She's actually recommended space for me. I think that this is one part which I frankly have to improve. So what I've been doing recently, lately, is just to take a bit of medication, not sleeping pills per se, but just the hormonal.
Yeah, something to relax you a little bit. So.
No, just the hormones. You need additional hormones just to help you to sleep. So, and that's been helping.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this point is one of the ones. By the way, I think it's part of your mental health.
Yeah.
If you lack of sleep, I find that I don't think very clearly. If I didn't sleep enough, and enough for me is somewhere between 7+ hours of sleep.
That's a full night. Yeah.
Yeah. If I don't get that, I struggle a lot and then in the afternoon I'm so tired because I was up for 2-3 hours in the early hours of the morning and I couldn't sleep. So I'm trying to find the solution. I haven't got the right solution yet, but I'm looking for it.
You're working on it.
I'm working on it.
I mean, just maybe to try and, finish it off, do you have any questions, any comments, even compliments to me and Mngxati?
No, but I really do. I think this topic of finding a balance, especially for leaders out there in business, and even as people in general, is so important. And I think what you're doing, you, Peter and Mngxati, is absolutely fantastic. Firstly, to talk about it, create awareness of what's important, but also doing it in a fun way like this. It's very relaxed. You just in a nice setup, having a nice dialogue about a very important topic. So I think what you're doing is great, and I would like you to continue and explore it even further.
We're looking for sponsors. We can sponsor this and take it to another level. Thank you very much for your time, Vukani. Appreciate
much,
this,
my
my brother.
Thank you, Vukani.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
I think it was fantastic.
Enjoyed it a lot.